Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and The Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at tarainsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen, and my guest and co-host today is Jason D. McKean, and he is the voice of over 1 million home recordings throughout the world. And thank you, Jason, for being on the show.
Absolutely. Good morning, Tara.
Name those home recordings. I try to every week,
Right. It's like a cognizance test, it's like, it's like, if I can remember those 8, then I'm going to be good for the week.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of the good ones that are played in yoga studios and meditation halls throughout the world. And
Yes.
so they have been for 30 years.
Yes.
Or so. And that's like, thank you.
Yes. I love it. Yes. Thank you, Jason, for your contribution for that. I do love it too.
Yeah. I was listening to the ohms the other day, because it's something that one can use as a daily practice. Is it, as the creator of it, am I able to separate myself from it and enjoy it and not be critical of like, that note is weird, or, I should have done that there. That can happen, right? But enough time has passed, I can just listen to it and be of benefit in that serenity that it creates.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, it's the serenity. Yeah, everybody should be able to listen to it. You make them, don't you? Create them in the first place because you think, well, if I like this, then everybody's going to like it.
That's as far as like everything that I put into it, it has to go through I guess that pleasing filter. Like I have to be happy with it, and that's just a creative process, the choice of what you put into it. And if it's like, I don't know, or if it were to make me uneasy or anything, that's not the goal of the entire, album. It's to promote connection with the universe, a calmness, so that one can, move through whatever they're going through at the time.
Right. Well, I contend that all of your own recordings, and you have meditations as well, are always so amazing. Really, they're so well produced, and I've loved every moment of each one. Like when you did Om Indigenous, that was fun. 108 Sacred Ohms, Om Sanctuary is, of course, a favorite of many, many people.
Yeah, that one by far is like the most popular, and it just has a certain energy to it that people, once they start hearing it and all, they just like fall into it.
There's Om Eternity, Eternal Om. There's 100 and Om Beats. Om Beats. You want a little bit of a little upbeat Om. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Om Shiva Shakti Namaha.
Yeah. Hey, Beanie.
Yeah. Which is a good just chant. It's a little bit more active. What I like about all of the albums is that there's a point of difference in every single one. It's not just listening to the same album over and over. It has places where you can be active in it. You can Om along, with like Om Eternity. That is
that's like
beautiful
the
one.
The Kirtans, there's 6,000-year-old chants, and so you're actually, clears your way. So the Om is like the sound of what the earth makes, or what the universe makes, and the earth actually makes a sound, and so it's like the clearing. You're in the resonance.
Yeah. And you can be an active participant in that. You don't just have to turn it on and listen. It's like there's so many benefits to chanting the Om as well. It's like because of how you open up your own energies, and even like the physical sensation in your sinuses and all that. You can,
Mhm.
feel these transformations going on, and it can.
Well, it's like alleviating the gravity off your body.
Mm,
That's what I think it
I
does.
like that. I like that.
Yeah, because I use a lot of shamanic ritual when I'm like working with clients, and a lot of times I'm bringing them back into an Om state. I don't call it Om, but it's about coming back into the sound of whatever the sound makes for you. It can be a ring, a tone, a hum, some kind of a sound or vibration, and you're going to match. Your body makes some kind of hum too, or sound, and so you match it to the sound of the earth, of how you hear it. And because it's very important that you get back on track.
Yeah.
If you're hearing in some other, if you're different than what you're hearing, what the earth makes, then you're way off. The moment that you come back into resonance, then you come back into that deep peace. And, kids, I've done it with a lot of kids, and the kids are incredible at how they describe it. I love it.
How do they describe it?
Well, they just describe it in such beautiful ways of how they that they're in such deep resonance with it. But let's see. Well, many different things. I don't remember verbatim.
Yeah.
Kids say, because it's kid-like. But they like it. They really like it.
Right.
Like, oh, I really like that. That type of thing. Yeah.
So they'll go into their imaginative speak there, and
Mhm.
to describe it. Yeah.
Well, no, it's like they remember, like I remember this, to whereas, as we get older, we don't necessarily remember how to do it, how to get back to our good self, to our, healing self, where we've come from before. We don't have to carry all this stuff around.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's layers that we build up, and sometimes, as we age, there are these layers that are, they can be layers of toxicity. They can be, experiences that have left us, or led us away from, that original self, that innocence, that knowing of ourself, can be a little bit more, where we're distracted and all. Hello, Mr. Bean.
The beanie. Gotta be away for the sniffles there. Flat those doggies.
Right. Sneeze right in your face.
Miss me. It's all in love. You just say hi to everybody. It's not language. He's saying hi. It's not language. No.
It's so funny.
It's a baby. Okay, let's get you down. Oh, dang it. Look, here's the bone. Yes, it's Nyla bone.
That's what I hear him chewing on his Nyla bone.
Yeah.
Thank God for Nyla bones.
The troll underneath the bridge. That's Bentley. My living gargoyle. Yeah.
So this week, it's like you brought up the topic of change, and
Yeah. Well, the winds of change.
the winds of change.
The winds of change, because we've had to, during all this time that everybody's gone through this time in the whole world of being in lockdown and different, changing things up anyway. And so we're in the winds of change. So how are you changing as the world opens up? We're changing things, how we work and how we create things. For me, it's been, good. It's always been good. And I know for Jason, you used to traverse LA. Used to completely traverse. Los Angeles. Every day he was somewhere else, if not two stores, in a day, doing readings and meeting people. You were just meeting people everywhere. It was great that way. But now you're more on Zoom and concentrated, much more
Yeah.
concentrated.
Yeah, much more so as part of the international community there online. And sometimes it's just a matter of being introduced to a new methodology of doing something, and then you see, oh, I'm not so afraid of it, as far as like I still meet people who don't know about Zoom. It's like it's their first time. It's like, how do I get on or whatever, and it's like, really? that's surprising, just because of how everything has just any kind of work meeting or just social events where it's like it had to change up. It had to be online if you were going to do it at all. And so getting just past that point of introduction to something new, and then starting to familiarize yourself with it, and to create new patterns, new opportunities, to see how you can inhabit an opportunity and build on it, let it grow. That's part of an acceptance of change, because we can always resist it. We can always resist change and freak out, stamp our feet, say no.
Well, or we can stay the same, and not go with the flow. But what is better for you? That's the key, what is just better in your life.
What's better, but what are you also willing to fight for too? If there are influences that are, looking to make that a change upon you, and you're not willing to take that on. There are lots of levels of it. And it's like we each have 24 hours in a day. It's like, what are we willing to resist, to fight, and what are we willing to be in flow with?
Yeah, it's true, because a lot of people are fighting time at all times. And, and they fight time when they get to be a certain age, or they fight time for just time's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, don't really need to do that. Yeah, it's so much better to be graceful, and I see both men and women, they fight time. And then I see people who fight time that they never think that they have enough time, or that they have enough time in a day. Whereas if you meditate, just that 20 minutes where you think you're wasting your 20 minutes, but you get into the resonance of it, to where you stop panicking about your life. And there's no panic. You get back into there's a smoothness that starts to happen.
Yeah. Well, I think that meditation helps you recognize your center, that place of center within you, your core, and then how you're going to activate that core, through the known and the unknown.
Yes.
As far as, if we have a routine, it's a set routine. If it's working to activate our goals, to get done what we need to get done, perfect. If it's holding us back from what we feel we should be doing or think we should be doing, then we can work on changing it up so that we're being able to be more aligned with our own goal, and again, not kind of fight our own existence. I think that when someone is able to tap into their core fully, that they are that they're empowering themselves for the moment, for the day, for the week, the month, but they're looking to get things on track. for
Mhm.
themselves, so that you know, they can start to navigate their own life in a productive way.
Right. Right. So I made up a list last night
Mhm.
of how when we have to change, sometimes it's on a whim, sometimes it's long term, but when it's happening, it seems like it's on a whim. It's on a whim. Oh my gosh, I got to do it now. Whatever it is, like the restaurant closed, maybe it's your favorite restaurant, and, you're having a meltdown over it, or on the menu, you don't know what to choose, or, if something's changed about it. And, like your favorite food items are not on something, the relationship has fizzled. The kids grew up, or the kids are you can't control them anymore somehow. And and that's interesting anyway. You can't control your friends or your family or, kids. You just can't. It's better to give them tools when they're young so that they can make their way in the world. That's what the name of the game is.
Right.
And so
And to hold on to your sanity at the same time, as you're a parent.
I have to say, for me, my thing always was everyone and everything is either entertainment or a burden. So you choose. You can choose. Are you entertained by it? And sometimes it can get so bad that, the entertainment is very slim, especially when kids are acting out and stuff. It's very slim on the entertainment level. But if you just remember that, you can laugh through the bad times, it helps you. It does help you. That everything's going to be okay, and that, laughing through these bad times is going to be really fine. You're going to get through it.
Yeah.
But entertainment are a burden, because when you take it on, it takes you down. Yeah. Anything that you take on like that and you think it's too much of a burden, it's going to take you down. Because we have to look at being able to change, as well as the changes that are happening around us. We have to change. We have to be open enough to expect that there are going to be gifts. See, I was saying, life's really kind of a treasure hunt. So instead of thinking something bad's going to happen now because that had to happen and I had to change, or my job changed or something, that, it's going to be a bad thing. No, it's going to be maybe a whole new set of gifts that are coming into your life. Use your life as a treasure hunt and look for the great. You got to sometimes look under rocks to find diamonds, or crystals anyway. And so, and then I put appreciate smallness. Very small, but small words, small gestures, smiles, small things, flowers, trees, just the blue sky, just small things.
Yeah, small moments.
Yeah, you start being appreciated, an appreciation for small things, then the larger things are really amazing. Yeah. And then if it's hard, look it in the eye and know you're changing to make your life better. So if it's just a really hard decision, you see people, they have really hard moves. They don't have a job. They, whatever it is that they're suffering, and health, a lot of health things, if you're having to look it in the eye, do so. And, and start changing your life for the better, and it's not going to be an overnight thing, but it's a step-by-step process. If you start moving toward making your life better, then it will be better, no matter what it is.
Yeah, there can be a discomfort with discomfort, where it doesn't feel good or great to be in this place of not knowing, of discomfort. It's like, it's like, why would I, place myself there? But we can find ourselves in situations, that are, outside of ourselves, that impose themselves honest. And it's just like being, I mean, you don't have to, to love it, right? You don't have to like
Yeah.
it even, but to
Yeah.
acknowledge it and to be okay with sitting in that place of discomfort for yourself, just because it can be momentary, because we're always in motion anyway. But sometimes we need to, like you say, look something in the eye, need to, upload it into our awareness so that it's front burner, so that we can look at all of the moving parts of it, and then make a choice about how it is that we want to show up in that process. And when I'm reading for people, when we're in that part of counseling for people, it's always about having their situation kind of laid out before them, and then them being able to see what their part is in their own life. Not that it's some magical force that is going to just take something away and just make it all better. That's like, what are you doing in that moment to feel like you're connected to your situation, and what can you do as your part in that to move through a process. And if it's a very, if it's one of those like mundane, or a common experience, like, let's say someone is looking for work, right? It's like, are you sending out applications? Are you sending out resumes? Are you prepping your resume so that you're putting your best foot forward? Are you making phone calls where you need to? Are you doing your part, rather than just waiting for someone to call you or whatever? It's like, are you doing your part?
Right.
And so one is in a place of looking at changing, being in that change, but not looking to just be overwhelmed by it, or in a fearful place, but a proactive place in that. And to know that it can feel like you're stretching, you're growing, and that's it's like your physical being is being pulled apart and put back together, and all, and it can feel like it's like a lot of like hard effort, and it's like, it's not always like something that's just going to be comfortable, and it's like, like you're sitting on the couch eating ice cream. It's gonna be tough.
Right.
So being okay with that, that
Well,
process.
and that other people are suffering greater than, whatever it is that you're worrying about. Yeah. So you have to get out of that. That's change for sure. We have to change our viewpoint, if nothing else, a lot of times.
Yeah, there is a lot of change that takes place in the world, and it's pretty consistent, but it can feel like it's more global at times. Like the pandemic was like a really good example of where just everyone is feeling this change. It's not just one part of the world, it's everyone. And so it's important to not take it personally, like the universe is pointing its finger at you, saying, I'm doing this to you personally. It's just like,
Well, and it is hard not to take it personally. I know that many people have had it very rough, and beforehand they had it very rough, because before it was like everything was going way too fast, and the internet made it even faster. It was just chaos. I mean, the miscommunication of things, nuts. And now it's the same thing, miscommunication. Even when it's slowed down, it's miscommunication.
Well,
so it's just, like, okay.
it
Like,
can be.
everybody knows how to get their life on track. Everybody knows. How do you get your life on track? How do you do it? Yeah.
that's the work, right? That's the, to understand if there is miscommunication, and to not be a part of that,
Mm-mm.
to do your part in being a truth teller,
Mhm.
as far as like how your experience is, playing itself out. And if there's difficulty, in being able to relate that to be able to relate the anything that's positive, anything that's negative too, not to just put a spin on it, because that's can be part of the problem, is where, not all of the information is disclosed. So again, like, the change it's going to be, depending on the level of it, it's going to be uncomfortable. But there's a certain card in the tarot, which is the Eight of Cups, and I like to see that as where we leave our own comfort zone, because we know that what's on the other side of that is of greater benefit to us. It's something that will create a more resonant future within us, where we feel more connected. And we can choose to stay in a place that's totally comfortable and known, or we can push those boundaries. And I feel that a lot of what we're asked to do at a lot of times in our life is to find a place that we're growing in, and that we're not holding ourselves back. We're not like holding back our own potential. And as we get older, right, it's like we can feel like the march of time. Just, it's like now is the time. Now is the time. Well, I still have
Right.
my dark hair.
Yeah. Well, you have your dark hair. Anyway, so yeah, I'm thinking that, with your dark hair and all. Yeah, no, I'm thinking that we have a hard time of receiving when where there is potential. Where is it that we can't receive? I mean, we have to be open to receive this. I mean, like potentials come into your life all the time. Different opportunities come in your life all the time. When are you open to receive them? Are you open? Are you open for love? Are you open for money? Are you open for security? Are you open for gifts? Are you open? So you have to, and we say, oh, yes, I'm open. But, you look at your life, because some people, like, they love to give. They don't necessarily know how to receive.
See, that's also, a part of, culture too. It's kind of that can be part of that Puritan, it's better to give than receive, right? It's better to give than receive. And yet it's like two parts of the same thing, right? It's like to be open to receiving allows for someone to be open to giving, right? And of course, it's like we look for balance in that, so that we're not just takers, right? We're not just take, right? But it's
Well,
like
that has its own problems as well.
absolutely. And then you have, the people though that are like, well, I would rather just give, right? And because that's the moral high ground, right?
Well, it is moral high ground.
But again, in order to have that balance, right, it's like one can do both, and be open to that reception of opportunity, of bounty, of blessings, of abundance, because that's
where are you feeling abundant? Because the earth is your bounty and blessings. It is ours by birthright. So where is your bounty and blessings? Are you limiting that as well? Because it's limitless. Money is limitless. And especially now that it's digital, it's limitless. You know, we don't even have to have it in our hand anymore. We just have to call it into our digital bank. You know, bounty and the blessings. Let's go. Mind programming. I hope you get there.
Yeah, it's yeah, what's a good mind programming for being open to receiving?
Open to receiving.
Yeah.
It's being open. It's just being open, opening your chakras to actually receive. It's a lot about tricking your brain and tricking yourself to get there. It's not like being happy every day. Not everybody wakes up happy every day to start the new day and whatever, their life is about. But the bottom line is it's a gift. More and more, if you treat your life as a gift, it gifts you and you're open to receive it.
Right. It is, because I think we go through this a lot, like instead of that word tricking your brain, like training your brain.
Training is a nicer word, but
so
it's tricking.
It's you're bypassing,
yeah,
like old programming.
Yeah.
So yes, you're looking to, it's like the brain is doing its thing here, and because it's preoccupied with that, you're going in, underneath and restructuring it with mind programming. That's how mind programming works.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that have, put their ideas on other people, and saying that their way is the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say their way is the wrong way. It's just that, everybody can load a dishwasher type of thing. You don't have to have it just exactly the way somebody else puts their dishes in. It's like, come on, let's go. Let's just go with not being persnickety.
Sure. It can be, people who are more vocal or, louder, or, they have a catchy song, as far as like how they express their own opinion about something.
Yeah. But it has to be, again, it's about getting in your resonance. So it is the Om. It's the Om. Goes back to the Om. Go back to, the way that the planet sounds, and being in love with the planet and like with the planet.
Being in love with your own potential, with your life, so that you can invest your whole self into your life and show up, be present.
Just showing up. I don't know if you throw your whole self into your life. I think that you're already doing that because you're alive on the planet, and so you have to. It's a have to sort of thing. You're carrying around your body, so you have to. But your mind can be in a place of not resisting. Yeah, of being more pliable. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you have a skill set. Everybody's born with a skill set. And so how do you, conduct yourself in your dharma and your karma and your service to others? How do you do that? Yeah. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it clearly? Because so many people don't see that clearly as either. Yeah. Because, I get a lot of people too want to talk to me about what's happening in the world, but they're all people who are just listening, and they want to talk about it. Well, talking is like being dead. I mean, it means nothing unless you're actually participating in the world to make a difference in the world. Then, like actually helping someone up, or, doing something for someone else. It doesn't have to be, a big thing. It just it can be your family members or a friend or your neighbors, I mean, it's just, if it's just the pebble in the pond, the when you throw it out, the ripples, everybody starts to do something nice for someone else. But it's not about talking about it. Talking about it's not going to make anything happen.
Talking about it can be a way of setting the stage.
Setting the stage.
But with all, life and all, it is about action as well to complete a flow, what I would call like a flow of energy, because it's like one can state intention, based on what it is that they're feeling and thinking inside, knowing inside. But to move that energy out, it's like, yeah, speaking about it is one thing. And if you have the wherewithal, if you have the audience, to be able to, spur action, then that's, it's effective. But taking like, personal action on something, that's where, you have to figure out what you can do in a situation. There are global situations that it's like, we can like be overwhelmed by,
Well,
and then there's they can be, right? But there are people, and there's people that we know, or there's things that we can do for ourselves that can have an effect on people that are around the world. And sometimes it just takes a one-on-one, talking with someone for them to see something in themselves and to activate that and to do their part, or what they feel is their part. There's so many layers again to change that we can we can be overwhelmed by stuff, and it's not about feeling that overwhelm. It's okay if you are overwhelmed, right? But it's about moving through it. It's not about getting stuck in it. And that's about everything in life, from all the changes, whether they're in relationships or work, or a shift of consciousness within yourself. It's not about just getting stuck in that. It's about moving through it and then opening up the new opportunity, and to find that it's like, just like the first day that you were born, it's like, oh, you're a cute little baby and you're always going to be just a cute little baby, right? It's not how life works, right? It's like you sprout, you get activated, and you like change, and it's like that can be your whole life until you're 100 years old. You can find new areas of interest. You can incorporate new friends. You can reinvent yourself along the way.
Reinventing yourself. Yes, it's always good to reinvent yourself.
Can I make a shameless plug?
Make a shameless plug, Jay.
So this weekend I'm teaching a class on self-publishing, and so this is for mostly like first-time authors, but it's not relegated to
plug. This is for everybody who wants to do something and say it's an opportunity.
Thank you for that. It's an opportunity, and it's informational, right? It's like you have to listen to me talk for a couple hours, but there's time for someone to also talk about their project and all. But it's important for someone who is wanting to say something to be able to publish their work, and so I help them make it easy for them, give them the steps, step by step. But I'm working with a writer who's a screenwriter right now. We're creating a book together. It's his first novel.
Mm-hmm.
He's 94.
Wow.
Sharp as a tack. 94, and it's like he's created this book. We're putting it out there,
Very
and
good.
it's just an example of it is never too late
It's never
to
too late.
take on like a whole new identity, and to own it, to be that person.
Right. Well, our mom started writing,
Our mom.
and yeah, she has a book out, and has lots of different stories now that she's published. They're great. They're so funny and so great. And so, the times, it's very interesting to see what was happening in, someone's life at that time. Their
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. And to,
She
have
writes about Alaska.
those experiences and all, and to memorialize them in words and all. It's like something that lives on.
Yeah, she writes about Alaska, but she came out to Hollywood to become a nurse, if you can imagine.
What's hilarious about that is that
Yeah.
I've worked on 2 books like this last in April, and both of them mention the hospital that she worked at.
Really?
Totally different stories, different like scenarios, different ways of seeing the hospital. But and then her story too. Everyone is like converging there at that hospital in Hollywood. To finish my thought though, Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Zoom. That's when I'm doing this workshop. It's on my Facebook page. Jason D. McKean.
Nice. And you have a new book.
I have a new book, and I'm in the midst of another tarot journal because this is a 3-card spread, and it gives you space. It's like a journal, right? To throw your cards and then process it, right? Write it out. And I say in the introduction, it's like, if you're just beginning, it's like how you write about the cards at the start can be totally different from, how you evolve, how you progress, how you start to see things differently, and you allow for that change to occur. It's like, it's not factory work where it's like, well, let me just look at my brochure here or the book, and I'm just going to do it by the book. It's a way to learn, but if you see your own intuition and your own spiritual, that inner counselor start to emerge and start to weave the story a little bit differently, it's like, that's a valid way of moving through that process.
Right. And we do have to self-soothe, because there's been so many people that, have destructive tendencies. Yeah. So if we started to all self-soothe in some way, then, and so sometimes it's like writing it down and seeing what comes up, pep talks, personal pep talk, personal seeing things. Yeah. Venting even sometimes for people. But no, it's great. And then I'm on my book still. Yes, it's almost ready to hand out.
It's just like not far away.
Yes, it is that far away.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Page numbers now. Have people editing it. It's all going to be good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it is like, it's very interesting what you're writing about, your approach to it. It's very interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody's ever done this concept, so it'll be fun. We shall see.
Awesome. Well, any changes? Like, it's like you're
no change. I don't believe in change now, Jason.
No, like, it's like,
yeah.
It's like your horse passed away, one of your horses, sir. And have you noticed? Have you noticed a change in your other horse? Like, do they,
Mhm.
have you seen like a grieving
They do.
process or?
They do. They do. Horses have memories like elephants. They have a big memory. And so, yeah, Lyrica like nudges at me, like, go get her, because horses are separated a lot anyway. There's a lot of separation, people take off, they never think about, because they're traveling animals anyway. So, the animal just leaves. So the other animals left like, what? Where's my friend? But, or so she's just like nudges me like, go get her. Like I have the ability to go get her, like go get her. But no, she's quieter, much quieter. She knows that she left. She's quiet. She's quiet about it. So she's, I just sometimes sit around and just sit in a chair and let her hang out with me, with her head on my lap and, in my hair and stuff. She just is quiet. She wants to just hang out, me to be more of the herd at that point.
Yeah, it's like animals, they do have a keen sense of their pals. I noticed with we have a neighbor dog that Archie, our boy, he loves this neighbor dog. It's like he's just all about this neighbor dog, and the dog's been they've been on vacation, so they've been gone for like a couple weeks, but Archie is like, he'll pass their place and it just like, where are you? He's like looking for them, and then they're not there, and then it's like there's this physical letdown. You can see, just like, oh, there's my friend isn't there. And animals can be very, very sentimental about their pals and all.
Yeah, they're sentimental. Yeah, so she's very sentimental. Yes.
Sweet.
And very focused, a little hyper focused on me, but she was always hyper focused, but now she's, seems to like not want to look at anybody or anything. Yeah. So she's been a little, odd.
But it sounds like you've been allowing space for her to, just kind of work out her feelings too, and not feel, I like the bigger part of that is like when, someone who's close to us, maybe they lose someone or something in their life. And so it's on us sometimes to create an environment there of space for someone where they can work through, that adaptation, where they're getting used to a new reality, a new change. And instead of like, being too on them, just let them kind of go through their own process.
Right. Yeah. So that was one of my big changes, because I owned, Bella for 17 years. So it was a big change for us.
Yeah.
To have her. And she was such a steady horse. So regal. She was a regal horse. There was never any impropriety with her. She was great. She wasn't gonna, I could put, Audrey learned on her, my youngest niece, who was 3. I just throw them up on the arena on her, and she was really good. She'd be really good with kids. Yeah. Whereas, Lyrica has always been more high strung, definitely needed a more experienced rider than always sweet as could be to the kids, but just, riding her at 3 or 6, she's maybe, she may take off or something, like just to think it was okay.
Yeah, right.
But no. Yeah. So, you just never know. Yeah. I mean, I could always trust Bella anyway to be really good with the kids.
Yeah, I've been on a horse before when they've just like just taken off, just with just like a little, kick in the
Right.
sides there, and
Well,
it's
I
just
mean,
like, whoa, it's like,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
spirited.
even so much like that, but she might like start to jog or something, it just wouldn't been, it's just not as easy.
Mm,
Wouldn't have been as easy.
yeah.
Yeah. And I was always really particular, because I now look at like Lyrica's life, I didn't ever really let any men ride her. Willie was on her a few times, and my oldest son, and Marla's boyfriend used to like to ride her, but she used to give him a really hard time. And then I let Eco Challenge. I taught for 9 months. I taught 10 Eco Challengers how to ride. And
Mhm.
so that was, so I signed them all off for New Zealand. And they were all like Marines, and, they were incredible athletes, incredible, but they got to ride her. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I would get all these crazy horses from this one trainer. He'd let me use the thoroughbreds on the trails, and they were, not trail horses. So, but I wanted this group to be able to handle anything.
They're like
And
racehorses, aren't they?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They were thoroughbreds. And so, and we put all sorts of tack on them. They had to put, because it was in South Island, New Zealand. So we didn't know if it would be Australian saddles, English saddles, Western saddles. We didn't know what. So they had to learn all the different tack. They had to know what all the different, if horses didn't want to go across water, anything like that. So yeah, it was hours and hours of training. It was great for 10 months.
That sounds intense.
It was fun. It was fun doing that. Yeah. But it was the only time I ever did the trained a bunch of people for that. Yeah, got into that. Right. But it was a fun, and had fun people around me, like the trainer let me borrow the thoroughbreds. Yeah. So like we could go out riding as a group, which always got to be kind of goofy.
When you say goofy,
Oh yeah, no, some horse bucking or some, but nobody fell off. No, I mean, they were fantastic athletes, and I just kept really training them in the arena. And then we go out on the trail because, it's all only going to be out. It's all going to be out on the trail. So they had to know all the trail tricks. Yeah. If we came up into any emergencies or any sort of, but we didn't have any emergencies, but we had, weird, like water, like they won't cross water or something because, I can't get my toes wet. And they're big,
yeah.
Yeah. What do you do?
So where can people find you, Tara?
I'm at tarainsight.com. TARAINSIGHT.com. How about you, Jason?
I am at Jason D. McKean, JASONDMCKEAN.com, and on Facebook, and Jason Tarot Wizard at Instagram. Yeah, it's like all of my tarot classes, and this one self-publishing class that'll be tomorrow, actually at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. Sign up for it, and we'll get you ready to publish your book.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I don't have any seminars upcoming yet. I'll schedule some upcoming in the fall. Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's great. I'm taking lots of sessions. So that's where I'm at the next few weeks.
Yeah. Excellent. Lots of private work and
lots of private
helping people navigate the changes that are coming up for them.
Right. It just seems to like a lot of personal changes for everybody. A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people moved. They have whole lot of different, I have clients who've moved all over the country and said, here in America, and they haven't liked it as so much that they moved away from their, from whatever they lived before. Yeah. And then some of them are ecstatic they moved because, they needed to change. They did need that change. So we have to know when to go for the treasure hunt.
Mhm.
I mean, that, and that's a big word, but, big, like expectation. But the bottom line is if we get our minds and our senses into that, we're going to have something fun instead of drudgery, then we're going to find great things in life.
Yeah, I think that's just a, a really great way of looking at life too, is
Yeah.
because with people, with new situations, whether they're work situations or social situations, and there's no shame in talking with someone, a counselor, either one of us, to help you set the stage within yourself, to
Yeah.
look to see what your priorities are, see what you're willing to let go of, and what you want to retain, as far as within your own being, really, because it is a shift usually that one makes, but it's sometimes a very necessary shift for it's like I'm always surprised at how, like, a couple years after something, it's like you can say, oh my God, it's like I can't imagine not being the person that I am today.
Hey, lots of blessings, everybody.